Hey there, this is Diane Brandon Moody, and I'm here with another edition of 50 Something Love. And this time, the title is Water Seeks Its Own Level. And what am I talking about? Before I say that, I want to remind you that June 25th, Thursday night, is the last public Dating Safely and Scam Free that I'm going to be doing this year. I hope you can join. It's free to be there. Go to my website, dianebrandonmoody.com/safety, and we will be happy to have you inside for that. And a reminder that July 14th is when we start Simply Irresistible again, which I'm very excited about. But back to Water Seeks Its Own Level. I hope I don't sound mean because I'm not trying to be. Um, what happens so often, the metaphor means like when there's water, and if there's not a barrier to water, like a rock or, underground trees or something, if I were talking like a pond, water will stay the same level. It doesn't just go like this all of a sudden unless there's something under it impeding it. It will stay level, the same level. So, what Water Seeks Its Own Level has meant for I don't know how long is that usually when people are looking for each other, you look for somebody along your own level lines. What does that mean? So, one way that we protect ourselves from potential broken hearts, the scariness of intimacy, of being with another person and being intimate, and oh my God, what if they know who I am and they see me who I am, is that we will try to seek either a higher level that is not our level, or we'll seek a lower level that we're not their level. And I mean this not in terms of looks or money or anything like that, but mostly in terms of maturity. There is some, in, I think in money, this tends to be true, although it can change a little bit, and I'll get to that in a minute. But in maturity and ability to love and openness is where it's most important that people are seeking their own level. So, one way that people protect themselves from intimacy or from, really being with someone, even though they want to be, is they will create these fantasy lists. You want the guy to be 6'4". There are not many of them. My brother is, but not many of them. Um, they look young. They keep in shape. They're never sick. They're sophisticated. They're available. They never get hurt, but they need to be sensitive. They need to have money and want to spend it on you, but they also need to spend their money wisely. They can be jaded a little, but not too jaded, and they're going to think you're amazing. That's a little bit more of a Disney prince than it is a real guy, especially at this age, because I'm telling you, honey, we have all had our hearts broken at some point or another by this age. By the time you're over 50, your heart has been broken at least once, if not two, three, four, five times. So people do get jaded a little bit later in life and they get protective. Honestly, they get a little protective in terms of what they're looking for. What a man's list might look like is he wants a woman who looks 30 years old. She's a virgin or close to it. She hasn't. been with many men, but she's actually closer to his age while not having sex. But she needs to be really good at it in the bedroom. No baggage, no drama. Dude, quit saying that. If you're a guy listening to me right now, it to me that was always an automatic turn off in an ad when you say no drama. What that tells me is you're not capable of dealing with feelings. So don't do that. Don't. It's a mistake. But they want her to be nurturing, but they want her to have all her own money. But she wants to be taken care of, so he can do that for her. As a result, both men and women, if these are true of you or anybody you know, and it's exaggerated to make a point, I understand that. Really, all that does is protect you from one more heartbreak. It does insulate you from love because people do not live up to that stuff. They don't. And we work on that in Simply Irresistible. I want to say that too. That is something that we work on quite a bit as to what's really necessary and what isn't, where we should stretch our desires a little bit. Because every time you kick somebody out, like if you're just insisting that he has to be 6'2" and he can't be 1 inch shorter than that, you are kicking out most men in the world. Most men in the world are not 6'2" and taller. They just aren't. So by kicking them out of the process, you have already made it harder for yourself by making your pool smaller. Um, this is all your secret protection, and it's so secret, you're not realizing that's what you're doing. You really aren't even noticing it. You're not really looking for the love of another human being. You're looking for sort of a fantasy guy, or like I said, a Disney prince. Um, then you can blame the entire gender pool. All men are blah blah blah, and all women are blah blah blah. Women only want money. Men only want sex. Blah 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 blah. None of that is true of every guy, and it will be true of just enough to keep the stereotypes alive. Um, but the whole reason for really doing that is you're protecting yourself from the vulnerability of love. At 65, if you're at a level of 65, I'm 65, your contemporaries have gray hair. They probably have a few extra pounds. You're not going to find that many men or women who have Sports Illustrated bodies at 65. Maybe they did once. I didn't, but they don't have it now. They may have health problems. If I hear one more woman say all they want is a nurse or a purse, you're not allowed to say that and at the same time be looking for love, because honestly, every time you say that, it just reinforces your belief that nobody measures up and nobody is your level. Don't say that anymore. I don't want to hear it from anybody. Don't say it. If you want a millionaire, that's fine. Once again, you cut out a whole bunch of the population who may be able to love you and love you very well. But that is something you can work on together as a financial goal. If you're insisting that that's what you want, you're just cutting out so many people that that in itself is your protection. Secret, super secret protection. Um, Real love between two people. I mean, you guys have lived. I've lived. He's lived. Everybody's lived. By this time, we've lived. We've had a rough time. We've had surgeries. We've had health problems. We've had people die in the family. It's more important for me to have somebody who can be with me when that happens than it is for him to be a Sports Illustrated model. Although I think my husband's pretty handsome. You have wear and tear. on your body, on your psyche, pretty much everywhere, there's wear and tear. When you stop looking for fantasy and start looking for an equal, that pool, that pond, it gets bigger. It gets bigger in terms of sophistication, of intelligence, of education, of desire to be with each other. You can make exceptions when you want to, but keep thinking how to make the pool bigger, not smaller. So that's my Water Seeks Its Own Level podcast episode. Again, the reminders Thursday, June 25th, we're going to be doing one more dating, dating safely and scam free for the public, and it's free. So be there. You'll learn some valuable insights one way or the other. And you can ask questions if I've left something out. Also, Simply Irresistible, where we learn how to seek our own level in love, but not settling for something below that. That will be beginning July 14th. And again, I ask you, go to the website, dianebrandonmoody.com/love audit, book a time. Let's talk. I would love to talk to you. That would be great. So thank you for being with me. I hope you guys are having a wonderful summer, and I'll see you again soon.